beautiful souls, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Kassia. Today we're going to be talking about the Chiron Retrograde in Aries 2022. I've been looking forward to doing this video for you guys. So I have some dates that we're going to go over here, as well as some dates to watch in 2023. We're going to go over the pre-shadow, post-shadow, the energies of Chiron. We're going to pull some cards on what we can expect from this retrograde, all of the normal things. So this retrograde began on the 19th of July at 16 degrees of Aries. And Chiron will continue its retrograde until December 22nd. And on December 23rd, Chiron will station to begin turning direct at 11 degrees 56, so almost 12 degrees of Aries. The pre-shadow period began on March 24th until July 18th. That's a little bit old news because that has passed for everybody who's going to find this video. The post-shadow period is going to go from December 23rd until April 14th. And what that means is that Chiron will be retracing the degrees that he went over during the retrograde. So we're still going to be experiencing and feeling some of these energies, although we're not going to be feeling them as intensely. The date to watch for 2023 is going to be March 12th. This is going to be during the post-shadow period of the Chiron retrograde. And on March 12th, Chiron is going to come into conjunction with Jupiter at 14 degrees of Aries. And so I feel this energy of Jupiter really lighting up the energy of Chiron and bringing a powerful dose of healing and completion to some of the energies that we've been working throughout this Chiron retrograde. Jupiter is really allowing us to expand into more of who we are now that we've healed and addressed some of these deeper wounds. 2020, we had a retrograde of Chiron as well in the sign of Aries. And we're not going back further than 2020. We're going to start with 2020. But in 2020, Chiron retrograded in the first decan of Aries. And so this would be the first 10 degrees of the sign of Aries, which is the very beginning of the energy of Aries. So it's interesting that we had this retrograde in the first decan, and now in 2020, or that rather in 2021, Chiron began to retrograde in the second decan of Aries. And this was from 12 to 13 degrees of Aries to 8 degrees of Aries. So that was in 2021. In 2020, we also had a conjunction of Mars and Chiron in the sign of Aries. And that was a powerful point in Chiron's process. And I didn't look this up. It's just popping into my head right now. But that may have been during the Chiron retrograde. Either way, that was that 2020 retrograde, and the Chiron and Mars energies in 2020 were extremely powerful. That's the year where Mars spent a good chunk of time in retrograde in the sign of Aries, and just more time in the sign of Aries, his home sign, than he really traditionally does. So there was a lot of profound healing that was initiated beginning in 2020 surrounding this Aries energy, and that is continuing on. So in 2021, from 12 to 13 degrees to 8 degrees of Aries, we had this Chiron retrograde in that second decan. And we are going to be revisiting at the end of this Chiron retrograde in 2022, the final degrees that Chiron retrograded over last year. And this is that 12 to 13 degree point. And so it could be very interesting to find where that point is in your individual chart. See if there were any planets being aspected in your natal chart during that time. Just find out where that point is in your chart, period, what house that's in. That can give you some clues as to where there's going to be a real, I feel, emphasis on the energies of Chiron. And you can really think back to when this point may have happened last year and what you were going through, because there's a revisit to the issues and the wounds that were brought up during the end of that Chiron retrograde in 2021. And I do my best, you guys know, and it's really a struggle working with astrology, which is very much about numbers, but I'm not really the greatest numbers person. I'm very much into the intuitive energy of things and that aspect. So I should have written down exactly when it was that Chiron hit that 12 to 13 degree of Aries point last year, but a quick Google search will tell you. And you can maybe trace that back and see some of these themes that may be revisited. Remember, healing is like a spiral. We access a deeper and deeper layer of healing every time we move through that spiral. So as Chiron hits this point, this 12 to 13 degree point again, we're going to be feeling those energies from 2021 really being stirred up all over again. And that's going to be when Chiron stations on the 23rd. It will station. So this is the end of the retrograde. Chiron is completing that retrograde right around that same point. So when we hit the late fall into really December, this is where we're going to be feeling that revisiting of these energies from the previous Chiron retrograde in 2021. Chiron retrograde is always an interesting retrograde to look at because Chiron represents the wounded healer. And so these are our deepest wounds, our deepest traumas. And a lot of times this energy of Chiron points to our soul purpose in this lifetime in the lens of what it is that we're here to give back, how it is that we're here to be of service, to be the healer. So those people who identify as light workers, as healers, this Chiron energy is really important for us because it shows how we can tap into our own healing abilities, what it is that we've most had to heal, and how we're then able to give that back to others, and which is of course what we all want to do on this channel. So it's really interesting to understand your own natal Chiron. Excuse me. You'd think a Mercury retrograde was coming up, but it's not until September. Well, I guess actually September is right around the corner now. So time's really flying, you guys. So I feel like maybe I'm picking up on that energy again because I've been stumbling all over my words. But you guys know what I'm talking about. This energy, your natal Chiron energy is very important. It holds a lot of keys to how it is that you can best bring healing to this planet, as well as to your own life. When Chiron is transiting, it's bringing up wounds related to these different astrological signs and the energies that they express. And so when we're looking at the sign of Aries, we are looking in particular at the energies of our masculine energy, the ways that we exert our will in the world, the ways that we get what we want, the ways that we experience or we, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say portray, but that's not exactly what I mean. But we can use that for lack of a better word. The ways that we experience and the ways that we express aggression. Right? These are all themes of Mars energy and Aries energy. Therefore, we can also possibly be looking at our sexuality, the ways that we express our sexuality, as this is the domain of Mars, who, like we said, is the ruler of the sign of Aries. So really how we express and embrace our masculine energy in general, how it is our willpower, our confidence, the ways that we show courage and develop courage. These are all signs of Aries. This can also have to do, possibly, I'm feeling as we're talking about this, with our relationship with our fathers or father figures and our relationship with outer masculine energy as well. We're really working with that solar plexus chakra when we are working with this energy of Chiron and Aries. And so we may be feeling that physically in our bodies, around our root and around our solar plexus chakras. So we're going to pull some cards and get into this energy and see what we can expect from this Chiron retrograde. And I realize for those who are new to the idea of retrogrades, I didn't go over that. So a retrograde is when a planet appears to be moving backwards from our vantage point on Earth in the sky. And so this is when we're experiencing the energies of that planet in a more internalized fashion, as opposed to an externalized fashion. And it's really calling us to go within. And it's bringing up a different perspective and understanding of the energies of that planet and our own personal experience of those energies in our own lives and our own being. All right, what do we want to do? I was seeing the psychic tarot in my mind as I was talking. So I think we're going to pull some psychic tarot cards here. When I was talking about the chakras, I almost said the sacral chakra too. So all of those lower three chakras, I feel like, are going to be affected by this retrograde. Clear. And we really want to learn how to clear out and heal and fully activate those lower chakras, because until we do that, we can't fully access our higher chakras. And we can't bring down all of that higher cosmic energy and really root and ground it into our being until those lower chakras are functioning properly. And did I forget to clear this? Yeah, I think so. Clear. All right, tell me about this Chiron retrograde in Aries 2022. What do we need to know here about the Chiron retrograde in the sign of Aries? Be bold. That's what I just heard. Ooh, Destiny. First card out. This would be the Wheel of Fortune in the traditional tarot. So this is a powerful first card to have out here. And as I'm looking at this card, I'm feeling for many that what this Chiron retrograde is going to do for you as well is it's really going to help to activate your own clairvoyant abilities. I'm seeing this woman as a seer. And remember, when our gifts are buried under our deepest wounds, what prevents us from expressing them is the fear and the wounding and the trauma surrounding them. And a lot of that trauma comes from past lifetimes. So a lot of us are going to be healing this energy on a deeper level, healing some of these wounds that have been suppressing the manifestation of our gifts. And so some people are going to see their gifts really skyrocket. And I'm definitely feeling that with that March. It was March 12th, I think. 12th or 14th, whatever I said it was, that date where Chiron and Jupiter are going to be conjunct in Aries during the post-shadow period. I see that as really the expanding those gifts that have been unlocked, if you will, throughout the energies of Chiron retrograde. What else did I want to say here? Oh, I wanted to mention there is information in the description box below. It is still available for purchase. If anyone would like to view the Healing the Healer's Wound group clearing that I did, it was a private event I did over Zoom. It's only $11.11, I believe. And we go through and we release some of these beliefs, some of these traumas. It's, you know, if it were a one-on-one session, it would be a bit more personalized. This is more of an overall energy. So it's not going to be a be-all, end-all for people, but a lot of people experience some profound healing and release just from that group clearing and group session, utilizing some theta healing energies and modalities there. So check that out if you will. I always have to say when I talk about theta healing that it is not connected to tarot or astrology, because the theta healing people don't want there to be any confusion about that. I just want to throw out that disclaimer there. But it is a group clearing utilizing theta healing techniques in order to help release some of those belief systems, that trauma, that wounding related to the discrimination, the persecution of healers throughout history. Right? We carry these imprints within our being on every level. Right? We carry them on a soul level. We carry them from our ancestors, from our own personal experience. And anyone who taps into the energy or pursues the energy, or really, I don't know if I like the word pursue, opens themselves up to the energy of embracing themselves as a healer in this lifetime. Even if, say, that you didn't identify with that in a past lifetime, you're still taking on that energy simply by stepping into that and embodying that in this lifetime. So we can all benefit from that clearing. But this Chiron retrograde is going to do that for some people. And it's going to really open up your clairvoyant abilities. It's going to open up see how her hands are over her heart there? It's going to open up our heart center to a whole new level as well. And there's an integration here. You see all the different mirror images of her surrounding her. It's like a soul recall retrieval as well. And an integration of wounded aspects of the being that we're not able to kind of come back into wholeness because of this wounding, these traumas. And so it's like a calling back of soul fragments, or whatever it is that you would call them. We have discontent and boredom, Four of Cups. With the Ace of Cups, love begins. Give me one more card for this. Partnerships and alliances. All right, so I do feel as though people are also releasing during this Chiron retrograde soul contracts with people that they're no longer aligned with. And so this would be especially for people who have stayed in a relationship due to feelings of obligation toward the person you're with. And for many people who relate to that watching this, the reasons for that, for some, it's simple codependency. But for some, it goes deeper than that. And it's actually because of obligations you feel to them from former lifetimes. But you're healing that and releasing that because you're realizing that you're no longer a match, and staying in a relationship because of obligation, it weighs too heavy on the soul at this point. And for some people, this obligation is like children or family, right? There's some reason that you feel, for some, like I said, it's past life. For some people, it's just plain old codependency. And for some, there's like children involved and things like that. Like you're trying to keep a family together, but it's just not working because you're discontent and you're bored. And it's starting to really weigh heavy on your soul to the point that you're realizing that it's not fair to either party to continue in this. This is that energy of, there was a meme that I shared. Oh, this generation, right? I hate myself every time I say that, but I have to share it because it's being brought up and it's relating to this energy. And it said something about like, and remember her, him, these terms, we can swap them as we wish, right? But it said, if she doesn't stir your soul, if you feel nothing when you look at her, then let her go. She is somebody else's blessing. And it's this energy of how we hold other people's soulmates hostage when we stay with somebody that we don't actually love, because there's somebody else out there that would love them, that is waiting to love them. And there's somebody else out there who's waiting to love you too. So why are you holding on to something? It's like staying past the expiration date out of a feeling of obligation or necessity, whatever that obligation or necessity is. I mean, for some people, it could be as simple as there's like financial reasons. Like maybe you're even still with somebody, but you still live together because the market is so hard right now. It's so hard to find housing, right? Let alone buy a house, trust me. So, it could just be as simple as that and finally moving on. And so this could be self-love beginning for someone, loving themselves enough to let people go. For others, this is like letting somebody go so that real love can enter your life with somebody else. That's where this partnerships and alliances comes in. Somebody that you can have a true partnership with. Somebody where it's 50-50, right? There's reciprocity. There's even give and take. I almost said evil give and take. Somebody that you are more, I'm being drawn to the rainbow again. Rainbows have been coming up for so many of us, right? Somebody that's on your level, somebody that wants the things that you want, that has the same dreams, goals, and ambitions. There's like this energy of giving somebody a helping hand. But this doesn't feel, it's like in the past, if you look at these hands together, it was like somebody else was sinking and somebody else was trying to pull them up and prevent them from drowning. That's the energy of your relationships in the past. But now this is being transformed into an energy where your hands are coming together to support each other fully. There's an equal and even energy here, and it's more like a handshake than that death grip, right? It's releasing that grip, letting the people go that need to be let go, and then like that shaking, that meeting of minds, that shaking of hands where two people are acknowledging each other and acknowledging each other's worth. We have passion ignited on the bottom of the deck. And choose wisely under that. With the root chakra, make sure that you're not choosing based upon need, right? Based upon an unbalanced root chakra. That's where that codependent energy, that addiction energy comes in. Those fears of scarcity that keep us trapped in things that are not meant for us, with people that are not meant for us. All right, this energy of the past clinging on. and causing conflict within our being, right? Dwelling in the past. Yeah, there are some people who, with this Chiron retrograde, you're really missing somebody too. You're really missing somebody. That's what this energy is. You're comparing them to the person you're with now, and you're realizing what you let get away, who you let slip away. And there may not be much that you can do about that now, except accept that and move on, but learn from the experience. Yeah, but these are beautiful partnerships and alliances forming that support our soul growth, that support our ambitions, that support our destiny, right? Tell me more. We're really now understanding what makes a true partner. I feel like for some people, this Ace of Cups is fulfillment too. Patience and planning coming out here. And I feel like you're being fulfilled because you're creating. For some people, I see like somehow out of this Chiron retrograde, we have like promising business partnerships coming through for people. There's there's patience and planning here. I feel like there's somebody who's had something in the works for a long time, where it's like you have a partnership or something, whether this is related to business, which I feel like it will be for some people, for some related to love. You've been really patient. You've been planning. You've been what's the word that I'm looking for here? I don't want to say scheming, but you've been putting all your ducks in a row here. And you have been really patient cultivating this partnership or this alliance. So for some people where this is related to business, what it feels like is like somebody who's been watching you or who's had you in mind for some sort of role, whether this is partnering with them on a project, whether this is hiring you to work for their business, whatever this is, this person is getting ready to seek you out. And something about this Chiron retrograde, I don't know if it's that the healing work that you do throughout this retrograde helps to make you that much more magnetic. And so this person notices you, or what it is here, why this is. But it definitely feels like somebody who's been sort of planning and plotting because they want to offer you something, some sort of alliance. And for some people, this is just the energy finally coming through of like, you've been planning on getting out of, say, like a stale marriage, a relationship that's not working, a situation, a job even, that hasn't been working for you. You've been in those planning stages, or you're being called during this Chiron retrograde to begin these planning stages. Remember, this Aries energy, this Mars energy represents how we get what we want. And so some people who've been afraid of going after what they want are now becoming more emboldened as we heal more of these wounds related to our ability to do so. And so, an offer possibly being made, but there's a lot of patience and persistence that goes into this. All right, what else here? Yeah, I'm really having a bit of trouble shuffling. It's this brace doesn't look that cumbersome, but it does get to be a little bit when it comes to the cards here. But everything that we're meant to get here, we get. So what other information? What else? What else does Spirit want us to know? Wisdom, the Hierophant. We have deception and envy on the bottom of the deck, interestingly enough. And so I feel like for some people, there's a deeper level of wisdom that's been gained through this understanding of these energies in ourselves and others. Better discernment that people are gaining throughout this Chiron retrograde. when it comes to who to trust, how to trust, who and what is worth letting your guard down for, healing around times when you trusted and you felt betrayed. Yeah, there's a powerful level of illumination for some during this Chiron retrograde. It's like you notice the people in the background here that are kind of huddled. The way that I was seeing them at first was sort of like huddled in their house. I don't know if they really are, but that's how it first appeared to me. And now this person, you see the energy, the light emanating from this book, right? This book represents knowledge and illumination. So I'm feeling, we see the sun there too, right? And the puppy, which is interesting. Which feels like innocence and loyalty to me. But I'm feeling this energy of like, yeah, for some, this is like people who are loyal to you because you help light the way for them. And so it's like somebody coming into an understanding. We talked about how Chiron represents our healing abilities and the gifts that we give the world through our healing, right? Somebody coming into this understanding of themselves and their ability to light the way for others, to be like a guiding light, like a torch in the darkness, especially when it comes to sectors of the population that are less fortunate. So some segment of the population, whether this is people who experience poverty, people who experience addiction, whatever the case may be, it's like you are a guiding light for these people. They see you and you represent hope to them. You represent knowledge, illumination, wisdom. They want what you have. And you're finding that you have a special ability to connect with this group of people and to really guide them forward and help them heal. Help them feel more brilliant. Right? You notice how dark and drab they look here and how bright and beautiful, like the way the light emanates from this person. It's like your own experience. Like you can lead and guide these people because you've been where they are. You know, this is people who are hopeless, who are feeling dejected, rejected, I feel, by society. And it's like you're showing them a way, I want to say, to integrate back in, but not necessarily, we're not like in a way that's compromising to who they are, but how to become part of the world again, how to empower themselves. Yeah, so for some people, you're really finding your gift or your niche, or the way that you are lighting the way for others. And for some, this is, you're just really embracing what it is to walk your talk and be that example to others. So you may not everyone may be, somebody definitely is directly interacting with people, but somebody else may be, just by your example, you're seeing how powerful that is. And the wisdom that you're gaining is that you don't have to do anything except be that example. It's like the Pied Piper. People are just going to follow you because they want what you have. And some people, the wisdom that you're gaining is like knowing and understanding who you can help and who you can't, who you can reach and who you can't, that you're not going to reach everyone, that you're not going to be able to help everybody. And it's like, for some people, I feel like there was a specific person that you really wanted to help. And that person was just not responding because they have their own soul lessons to go through. They have their own journey, and you even wanting, and this was out of kindness, out of true love for this person, right? You wanted to intervene and prevent them from having to go through the pain of all those lessons. But there's no other way for them to learn. They're on their own journey of wisdom, and that wisdom has to be gathered through direct experience. And so you're realizing, I may not be able to help that person, but there's these other people out there that I can help, that are receptive to the wisdom that I have to offer, to what it is. They want to receive what it is that I have to give, and they're in a place where they're ready to do it. So we're learning how to focus our energy on those that are ready to hear our message. All right, what else do we have here? We have the crown chakra inverted with emotional loss and deception and envy. And so this is just reiterating and showing the reason that our access to this higher consciousness, and this goes back to the people whose clairvoyant abilities and other gifts are being activated during this Chiron retrograde. This is what was blocking that. It was pain, grief, emotional loss, and it was this energy of betrayal, of deception and envy. And this isn't just betrayal. This is also like the energy of coveting what somebody else has. There's a difference between seeing what somebody else has and saying, I would like that too. Show me how you did that. Let me emulate that, right? That's that energy of being that example and others will follow. That's a positive approach to that energy. The negative approach is saying, I want what you have and I want it from you. Or you don't deserve that, but I do. Or why does this person have that and I don't? And going into a victim mentality about it. Or just like sending, I don't want to say hateful energy necessarily, but negative energy toward an individual who has something that we want because we don't have it and they do. That's the kind of with this envy energy. That's for some is blocking the crown chakra. Or just resentment. We might not be necessarily looking at a person and specifically sending them negative energy, but we may be like living in resentment and a sense of entitlement, operating out of a sense of entitlement that we don't automatically have what they have, or just feeling angry and frustrated about our life's journey in general and why it is that we're still struggling in certain areas when other people aren't, right? But that energy is directly blocking this energy. All right, it's blocking your gifts, it's blocking your destiny. First, we have to accept where we are. Stop comparing ourselves to others. And be grateful for what we have. And that turns this energy upright. And then it's all sevens. So for some, that's the energy that's blocking you, or has been blocking you, that's going to come up during this Chiron retrograde. For some, it's the energy of being deceived, the energy of being betrayed, and the wounds from that. And the times that we betrayed ourselves, we have to forgive ourselves for those too. Right? That's a wound for some people. Yeah, I've got 3 sevens on the table in front of me right now. That 7 energy coming through strong. And then the emotional loss 5. For some people, it's grief. It's this heavy grief that's been weighing on the heart center that's also been blocking your cosmic connection. And it's been influencing some of your behaviors. It's like pulling you into that negative, or not negative, but that sort of backwards flow with the root chakra, where you're afraid to love, you're afraid to trust, you're afraid to take a risk because you don't want to lose again. You don't want to be betrayed again. You don't want something to be taken away. That's the energy. Somebody feels like something was taken away from them. And there's not only sadness over this, but there's anger over this and resentment. We have to accept that that thing, that person, that job, that whatever is gone, so that we can move on. Stop taking it personally. And if this is, say, like the death of a loved one, it's hard not to take that personally. It's hard not to. Of course, we're going to grieve, but there comes a point where we have to let go of the sadness. It's like, I think a lot of people, we feel like when we allow ourselves to be happy, when we allow ourselves to move on, it means that we're betraying the person that we love, that we've lost. Lost being obviously not a fully accurate term, as nothing is lost. It's just there's a break in this lifetime. We don't see them again in this lifetime. Right? But of course our souls are infinite, so we will always see them again. Just not as they were in this lifetime, right? On this earthly incarnation. But there's this fear of allowing ourselves to move on and be happy. And we never really move on anyway, right? We always hold them in their hearts, but we let go of the sadness around it, or the guilt. For somebody, I feel like there's guilt. Like you blame yourself for what happened to somebody else. If I had only done this, if I had only said this, then maybe. And just know and understand that we cannot influence another person's fate. Our souls all come in with an expiration date. I truly believe this. There's a time that we decided we would live up until, it's like, I forget, it's like in a movie or something where they say each person has only so many breaths. We come into this lifetime knowing how many breaths we will take. And when that final breath is taken, that final breath is taken. Nothing can change that. It wasn't meant to. If you were meant to be an influence on that situation, you would have been, period. There's nothing you could or should have done. All you can do is accept and stop blaming yourself for the path and the evolutionary path that person's soul chose. And I love this, right? Accelerated motion with fulfillment of wishes. So for some people, your dreams, your desires, your manifestations that have felt delayed are actually beginning to come through, but you're being asked to have patience. You're being rewarded for your patience, actually, is what that feels like. And it's like forward momentum, which we don't usually think about during a retrograde, but forward momentum is being restored for some, where things had felt stagnant before. Clear. This is also saying, Eight of Wands, communication. Communicate your wishes to the universe and then have patience because they are manifesting. Just continue to do that. Perseverance, right? Repetition. Clear. This is what yields results. All right. What else? I want to pull a couple Intuit Oracle cards. Clear. Let's tap into this energy. Chiron transiting Aries 2022. Or Chiron retrograde in Aries, rather. 2022. Chiron retrograde in Aries. And we'll have more on that conjunction of Chiron and Jupiter as we get into March. Chiron transiting Aries. One more. I'm so excited. In September, my Intuit Tarot should hopefully be arriving. It's in production right now. I love these Intuit decks. All right. I think I'm going to be doing a giveaway as well. When that arrives, I ordered 2 decks, so I may do a giveaway for one of those decks to somebody who's wanting to learn tarot. All right. Chiron retrograde in Aries 2022. All right. We have stepping stones coming out. Baby steps, progress. Keep on going. The process of arrival, but notice process. So that's reinforcing that energy of patience. Perseverance, like we were just talking about, right? Anchor, stability, enduring, persevering, fortitude. All right, this is Spirit really reinforcing what we just said. And then we have Libra, cardinal sign of air, ruling planet of Venus, and the Justice card. I feel like, I just felt like one of those, what do they call it? When an announcer, is it the announcer or the commentator? Like when 2 people are in a boxing match or something. And in this corner, we have Libra, the king of air, representing Venus and embodying the energy of justice. All right. So let's get a little energy. Let's kind of put this together here. This is for somebody who's been seeking to restore harmony and balance to a situation or a relationship. You're being guided, if you know within your heart that it is right, to persevere here. Like, this isn't a karmic situation or one of the situations we talked about earlier where it's time to let it go finally so that you can find true happiness. But this is a situation where you really know that you're meant to persevere. You feel it in your bones. You know it with every aspect of your being. You're trying to bring some sort of harmony, some sort of justice to a situation almost. Continue to show perseverance and fortitude and take those little steps. Even if it seems like you're not getting results or you're not getting the result that you want yet, keep trying. Because ultimately, you will be able to, that situation, that relationship, whatever it is, can be healed. It just takes patience. It takes perseverance. And don't look at how far you have left to go. Look at how far you've come. This says timing within 1 to 2 weeks, but it also is fall. Well, I guess fall is not that far away, right? So for some people, you may achieve this desired harmony and balance, the healing of this relationship or situation by fall time. But regardless, it is coming. Just stay the course. Don't give up yet. If this specific message is for you, you will know and it will resonate. Because whatever it is that you're working on, it's something that has stood the test of time. This isn't something new. This is something old. If this is a relationship you've been together for a really long time, right? If this is a business partnership, you guys have been in business together for quite some time. If this is a family situation or dynamic, it's been going on for a very long time. And you know that it's worth putting the effort into to salvage. Because it's not based on codependency. This energy, especially if it's a relationship, that's what differentiates from it from what I was talking about at the beginning of the reading, that situation. This one is not based on codependency. It's not based on trauma and wounding, although there may be some aspects of that, right? You may trigger healing for it. You may trigger each other's trauma and wounds in some ways because you agreed to do that as souls. But that's not the entire basis of your relationship, right? It's not like a what do they call it when you are addicted to a toxic relationship or person or the behaviors? There's a specific name I'm looking for. Specifically trauma bond. It's not a trauma bond. Okay? It's something more than that you really feel is worth the effort that you're putting into it. And for some people, this is just, read into it what you will. We have enough information for people who have other things going on here to know. For some people, it could be a creative project that you've been working on. Keep working at it. If you know that it is worthwhile. All right. Anything else? Any other messages that want to come through? Remember, too, keep in mind, this Chiron retrograde is triggering some of the for this situation, it's triggering some of the deeper wounds that need to be healed so that you can reach a whole new level of understanding. We have balance. So we got the stones again. Isn't that interesting? This could be relevant to somebody. Whether this is maybe the person that you're with likes to stack stones. There's some with the energy of stones. Maybe one of you collects stones. I feel like for somebody, it's like you're going to know that this is for you because the energy of the stones. The fact that the stone energy has come out twice. And this is the ultimate. This is what you're ultimately going to achieve. And it's because it's the balance. It's the balancing act. These stones are only able to be stacked this way because you're aware of how each one affects the energy of the next. There's a perfect equilibrium here that must be reached. And that's what you're looking for right now, and you will find it. Integration of opposite forces. All right? Completeness, equality, well-being, centeredness. When you speak to each other, when you attempt to mend or heal the situation, make sure that you're always speaking from this place of awareness. Really hearing and listening to each other. If you're not in a space to be able to do that, then don't communicate during that time. As above, so below. I'm feeling that energy from this card too. Yeah, but the stones, something about the stones, stepping stones. I saw the element of earth pop out. Maybe you like to walk somewhere where you're stepping on stones. There's a path, a stone path that you walk, a stone wall, crossing a river with covered in stone. I want to say moss covered stones, but just a lot with the stone energy. There's definitely an energy of the stones by water too. And there's a metaphorical energy with the stones too, is that bridge. It's like each stone as you're crossing the water, and the water is your emotions, right? Each stone that you step on or leap to, you have to do them in succession in order to get across. And you have to be very careful and mindful as you are crossing this river of emotion. But each stone leads you that much closer. All right, that's enough of that. I also feel like there's a lot of excess stress. All right, it's not enough. We're not done yet. A lot of excess stress that's impacting your relationship or your situation, that's leading to more arguments. It's leading to more confusion. It's hard to maintain harmony with another human being when we are distraught within, or there's a lot of, this feels like external factors causing stress, worry, and anxiety. For some people, it may be ill health, or just a lot of just external factors, money factors, time factors, maybe family factors. And so just know that that's part of what's weighing. And as some of that stuff resolves, which I feel like it's in the process of doing, it'll be easier to find that common ground. Then we have the element of fire. This is that expect the unexpected, and then we have that sexy, impulsive, exciting, inspired energy here. So this is like the fire being relit, because that is an element that needs to be present as well. There needs to be that passion. There's been a lack of passion. That passion needs to be restored. Then we have the light bulb, the aha moment, and the clock. Inverted here, that means that there's been sort of like a pause for this illumination. It hasn't, it's taken some time to get here. Incremental coming through. So there's been, for somebody, a very slow and incremental awakening going on. It's not happening as fast as somebody else may have liked it, but it is happening. If you've been doubting that the other person is waking up, know that they are. It's just taking them longer. That's all I can really say about it. It's it's two people awakening at different speeds. But it doesn't mean the other person isn't going to get there. Allow divine timing to reveal itself. Then we have the element of spirit. I love this, right? This is timelessness. This is trust divine timing. Somebody feels like divine timing has run out, like their timing is not syncing up, right? Divine timing is actually at play, even though it doesn't feel like it. Even though you feel like in this, when we're talking about the energy of one person awakening before the other one and the other person being like, come on, really? Is this going to happen? Or it's like that kind of an energy. And you feel like you missed your divine timing, or they're not living up to their divine timing. Divine timing is divine timing. You can't force it. Nobody can miss it either. Everything is actually developing in perfect timing. And this is part of the challenge and part of the energy that needs to be healed and worked through. And then there's a deeper spiritual connection here as well. The passion and the spiritual connection are coming. Or I would bet money on it anyway. So keep fueling your own spirit. Keep following your own passion at the same time that you continue to invest in this situation. And that's what's going to ultimately, that is just as important as anything else here. And then we got the moon here. Inner knowing, dreams, past life knowledge, the high priestess. Subconscious mind. This is for all of us, right? Now we're getting out of that specific energy and we're into this mystical energy, right? No, we're still in the energy of this specific reading here. There's something within the subconscious, something from a past life that's ready to be healed as well. Between the two of you, I think. Or there's something that one of you needs to address that is going to be revealed during this Chiron retrograde about your own past life. That understanding that helps you understand yourself and heal this relationship. But I feel like it may be past life connection between the two of you specifically. Breaking free of feeling weighed down. This is breaking free from addictions, breaking free. This is the energy overall for so many people during Chiron retrograde. Breaking free from codependency, from addictions, unhappy relationships and marriages, anything that makes us feel trapped. We're going to be releasing ourselves one way or the other. And for some people, it's like you may not have known which way it was going to go. This Chiron retrograde is going to show you. Just trust in the timing of everything. Personal growth, evolving. That past life energy coming through strong too. So there's a lot of past life healing. A lot of past life healing available for people. I think that came up at the beginning of the reading too. So we're starting to cycle back around. Also, for some people, the burdens of ill health, we're going to be breaking through that as well. Even some people who I feel like have been trying to conceive, you may conceive during Aries or this Chiron retrograde. Just a lot of whatever it is that we've been working on for a really long time. We're actually doing the groundwork by doing the deep healing work that's going to allow us to really shoot forward from here on out. We're going to be making progress. It may be slow and steady, but we're going to be making progress where we began to worry that there was no progress to be made. Yeah. Some people feeling weighed down by their desires. It's almost like your dreams feel heavy because there's been this energy of feeling like you can't attain them, or it's like you're living a dream that you had, but you're realizing that you don't want it anymore because it's holding you back, it's holding you down. So you're setting yourself free. So we're releasing the dreams that no longer hold weight for us, that didn't bring us what they thought they would or have served their purpose. And we're embracing new dreams. We're continuing to evolve, to allow ourselves to evolve, to allow our connection to others, to ourselves, to source, to evolve. Yeah. And we're breaking free of anything. We're really seeing during this Chiron retrograde what confines us and what uplifts us, what's worth putting the work into and what is not. And we're breaking free from any of the restraints, anything that's held us down, that's anchored us in a way that is not productive. Or I should say no longer productive, because it was for a time, right? Everything serves its purpose. But the things that no longer serve their purpose are being let go. All right. Same old story, right? New day. Clear. All right, you guys, I love you. I appreciate you. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you know somebody who would benefit from this video or might enjoy it, go ahead and share that with them. If you're new to my channel and you like the vibe, then come and join the tribe. Hit the subscribe bell. Check the bell with the little squigglies so you get the notifications. Anyone who feels like they haven't been getting notified when I've put out videos, try unchecking that bell and checking it again, because YouTube sometimes sort of like deactivates the notifications for channels you've been subscribed to for a while. If you feel called to donate to the channel, there are links in the description box below. You guys are incredible. I hope that you have a beautiful, powerful, impactful, and emotionally, mentally, and spiritually freeing Chiron retrograde in Aries. I'll talk to you all soon.